Welcome everybody to this video presentation of mine on the Scarlet Beast. Revelation 17:3 talks about a scarlet beast having 7 heads and 10 horns. I'd like to look at the beast not as an individual, but as a political entity. You know, just recently we had a German election and Olaf Scholz got in with the Social Democratic Party. And just today, December the 8th, he was voted in, and so he's the new German chancellor, the first male chancellor in 16 years. Now, could Germany be the Scarlet Beast? You know, we're looking always at the beast as an individual, but people don't have 7 heads and 10 horns, but a country can. And another thing about why I'm saying Scarlet Beast is every time we see this guy, the Social Democratic Party, their color seems to be scarlet or red, and it is because they're a socialist party. And we see there's a beast which is also like a leopard, and so here, there's some people see this as fitting Germany. The beast which I saw was like a leopard, and here, leopard-like, and it's the leopard was one of the 4 beasts that Daniel seen in chapter 7, and it was actually Greece, but it had 4 heads on it. So some should see this as a picture of prophecy of Germany. So what's going on with Germany right now? Well, there's some interesting things. Not only have they got a new man in there and a new party, but they've also got a 4th wave, over 1 million new cases in Germany of COVID-19. So they're being stretched to the limit. So now they're going to have to start, they're having a lot of troubles. But that's not the only area. We see Russia's a threat in the Ukraine, and this is putting a burden on Germany, which leads the European Union. And with Merkel, she could keep the peace, but this German leader, we're not sure which side he's going to go on, because look here, for instance, the Russian flag is red, and that's for communism. And here this new party, this Social Democratic Party, really comes out of East Germany, and that's where it had its origin. And so it's more toward the left. And some other problems with Germany is the migrants. We have migrants from Syria, Iraq, all these Middle Eastern countries, Lebanon, and even now Afghanistan. And they're coming in, they're putting pressure on Germany, and Merkel, has kind of been opening up to them, and this has caused a lot of people not happy about that. And we get extreme right-wing groups who want to kick them out, but we also get this SDP party, which is a little more like, maybe communistic, and so they seem to be handling them. They got a better solution than Merkel. So this is another reason why the SDP party suddenly got popular. Now there's something else about this 7-head, 10-horn beast that is the Scarlet Beast that's pretty important, and that is the crowns. And the 10 horns will soon have 10 crowns. Now we're pretty certain that this has to do with the European Union. And here we have it in Revelation 17:12, and the 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings, which have not received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength to the beast. So here the beast is really separate from these 10 kings who are going to become a kingdom. And 1 hour with the beast. And they're going to have a crown. And so this is what we call European sovereignty. And we're very close to that. And maybe this German government will be able to bring it about. Yeah, Germany, as I said, has 7 heads and 10 horns. And how do you see that? Well, because, just in January 2022, this year, Germany takes over from the UK as the presidency of the Group of Seven, the G7. And Germany is also a member of the European Union. So we can have these 7 heads, the G7, and the 10 horns is the EU when it becomes these 10 kings, 1 hour with the beast. So you can have here Germany as the beast having 7 heads and 10 horns. Now, the beast, I think it is the beast that makes a covenant with Israel according to Daniel 9:27. We don't know, we're pretty sure it's some form of government, just says, and he shall confirm a covenant with the many for 1 week. In the middle of the week, he'll cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease, set up the abomination of desolation. We know it's some European force, some European, we believe the Scarlet Beast, and he shall make a covenant. Well, this is the first time in 16 years that a man has led Germany. It's always been Merkel. So is this the guy, Scarlet Beast? Now, the Scarlet Beast is spoken of as Edom, and in Isaiah 34:5. Why? Because Edom means red or scarlet. And here we have, every time you see this guy in front of a SDP poster, it's always red, scarlet. That's communism or socialism, and that's the agenda they're pushing. But if we see in Isaiah 34, it says, my sword is satiated in heaven, behold, I shall descend for judgment upon Edom, so I think that's the Scarlet Beast, and upon the people whom I've devoted to destruction. If you look at this, those are those who take the mark, 666, because that's who get the wrath of God, right? Judgment. Now, as I said, Olaf Scholz has promised European sovereignty. What sovereignty? Just doesn't say individual sovereignty, but as a group. And this sounds like the crowns on these 10 horns. And the 10 horns you saw are 10 kings who have not yet received a kingdom, not sovereignty, but who for 1 hour will receive authority as kings along with the beast. You see, this is a group. They're one voice, one Europe. And that's what they've been pushing. But they haven't been able to bring it about yet. Is this the guy that can do it? In the Old Testament, this Edom, or this, what I call the Scarlet Beast, is called the King of Assyria. Same thing, Edom, King of Assyria. And we shall see that. He says in Isaiah 14:25, I will crush the Assyrian in my land, on my mountains. I will trample him down. His yoke will be taken off from my people, and his burden removed from their shoulders. I'm going to trample him down in my land. That's, when Christ comes at his second coming. And we see it of Edom as well. Who is this who comes from Edom with dyed garments from Bozrah? This one who is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I who speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Why is your apparel red? I have trodden the winepress, and from the nations there was none with me. I have trampled them down in my anger. I've trod them down in my wrath. So this is God's judgment, his wrath. What? When he, and here this word here in Hebrew is called bus. Bus. And that means to trample. And it's the same word here. I will trample down the Assyrian. So these are both 6 of one, half a dozen the other. This is a Scarlet Beast. Edom is scarlet red. And it's the king of Assyria. And so, is this the guy? I don't know. The Scarlet Beast, which I say is Germany, has 7 heads and 10 horns. It's it's a beast separate from the 7 heads and 10 horns, but it is, it's one of the heads, obviously, and it has 10 horns on it. So this, I think, is just king of Assyria in the Old Testament, and Edom. And every time you see this guy, and this is a shift, to the left. They've had the Christian Democratic Party with Merkel for 16 years. And now the SPD, which is the Socialist Party of Deutschland. So he's also, we see the Scarlet Beast is one of the 7 and is an 8th. So once again, I'm not talking about an individual here, but a state. And Germany is one of the G7. So, it says he's one of the 7. And in 2022, as I said, they take the presidency of the G7 over. That's a pretty high spot. Germany is also part of the EU. So it's an 8th in that sense, because remember, every time you see the G7 meet, they also have the EU representative there and the flag of the EU. And so there's really G7, but there's also an 8th there, and that's the EU. So he's both, because has 10 horns and 7 heads. So this way, Germany is both one of the 7 and an 8th. So it fits that prophecy of the Scarlet Beast. Now we have another thing. In Daniel's image, we have these 10 toes in the feet, and we know the story that the stone is taken out of a mountain, and it hits this image in the feet, and the whole thing comes tumbling down. And we know that these 10 toes represent these 10 kings, which in 1 hour they get become a kingdom. And so this is a final stage of Satan's kingdom. Let's be honest here. Jesus said, if Satan is divided against Satan, then his kingdom will not stand. You see, will not stand. And this is his kingdom, this whole image. But here's just the latter part, what we're seeing right now, the Scarlet Beast. And another thing here about this Scarlet Beast, and here he is, the SPD party. And is this the guy? Is this Germany? We also see in Daniel some pretty interesting things where we can see here the 7 heads and the 10 horns. And as I said, this is just Satan's kingdom. And this is just the end of it here. But they're all part together. I'll show you how. Here are the 7 heads here. And if you look, this is the lion, this is the bear, this is the leopard, and this is the horrible beast. But count up the heads. Babylon 1, Medo-Persia 2, it's a head. And then there's 4 heads in the leopard, that's 6. And 1 more, Rome, 7. And so here in this image, we have the 7 heads. But in the feet, we have the 10 horns. And so this is a composite. This is just what we're seeing could be rising right now as of December the 8th. And it's something really we need to watch for and keep an eye on. I'm not saying this could be good or could not, but it's pretty interesting. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you keep on the alert. God bless.